I'm new to e-bikes and I've had fun testing some out, and the opportunity to try has helped me really dial in what I like and want in an e-bike. Right now, I'm all about ultra-light e-bikes, ones I can lift into a vehicle or onto a rack on my own, ones with quick charging, long range, and the ability to carry stuff so I can hit up the grocery store and leave the car at home if I want. In this video, I'm trying out a bike that seems to check all those boxes for me. Meet the Urtopia Joy Carbon e-bike. This is a compact, fat tire cargo e-bike, so I'll test it out for hauling things, try it on streets and a bit off-road. I'll check out the longevity and the range and dive in a bit to what makes it special and why it might appeal to you. I'll also show you some of the more useful features and options. I'll wrap things up with both the pros and the cons of this particular e-bike so you can see if it might be right for you. I would like to say thank you to Urtopia for sending me one of its bikes to test and review over a couple of weeks. While the company did supply the bike, it didn't ask for or receive permission to have any input into this review, so you can consider these thoughts on my own. The key reason you're probably looking at this bike is for its ultra-light carbon fiber frame. Weighing in at just 50 pounds, this bike is probably about half the weight of a standard e-bike. This is a step-through bike, which makes it really easy to get on and off, and the Joy model comes with a rear rack. The model I received also came with fenders and a kickstand. You can also purchase an additional basket for the rear, as well as a tray for the front. Both of these options come with really easy mounting hardware and make installation quick. I opted to add both these bike racks to my bike so I could carry more. The whole bike can carry about 330 pounds, and the loading distribution is pretty strong. The rear rack can carry 60 pounds and the front holds 33. This bike has a few other key features worth noting up front. It has adjustable power assistance to give you a little more help while pedaling, plus it's got a throttle, which means you can let the bike do all the work too. I'll get a bit deeper in on those features in just a couple of minutes. When your bike arrives, it'll be delivered in a really large box, so be prepared. You will have a few assembly tasks to take care of before you can go riding. Now, depending on how proficient you are with bicycles, which I am not, you might want to set aside an hour or so for the unboxing and putting it together. Fortunately, though, one of the great things about choosing Urtopia is it arrives almost 90% fully assembled. For what's not in place, the company includes the basic tools for you. The assembly tasks essentially involve attaching the handlebars, and these can be angled and adjusted to your preference for a more upright lean or a sportier forward bent. With the handlebars placed, you'll add the front fender, wheel, and pedals. Last up is the saddle, which goes in with a quick release mechanism, and it's easy to adjust. Everything fits together perfectly, and the instructions are easy, so this isn't a tough assembly. I was really excited about trying this bike, so I took it out right away just to get a feel. The incredibly light weight of the frame is noticeable after riding a bigger, heavier e-bike for the last couple of years. This bike is also a little different from another lightweight carbon Urtopia bike I tried out recently, the Urtopia Carbon 1 Step-Through. While the Carbon 1 is more of a traditional road bike, the Joy model is smaller and a bit more nimble with those more cushiony fat tires made by Kenda. The great thing about a fat tire bike is it gives you a lot of stability. For example, it's quite easy to ride on grass, and even if you get onto sandier territory like I tried out, the bike can still keep its grip. Riding a smaller frame cargo bike like this takes a couple of minutes to get used to, but almost right away I found the ride was really comfortable and it was surprisingly easy to maneuver even when I had the bike loaded. Speaking of which, I was pretty impressed at how much this bike will carry. For me, that meant things like a backpack, groceries, and the shopping, but with the higher weight tolerance of both the front and the rear racks, you could easily add a child seat, carry a pet, or even make deliveries with this bike. Having both front and rear racks also helps distribute any weight and contributes to a nice relaxed ride. Urtopia Joy has a throttle lever you can use to get the bike going from a cold start or have it help you across more dense, grassy terrain. Plus, there's nothing like having a throttle when you're tackling a hill. Now, I don't love the shape and placement of this throttle. It is a little awkward to reach and operate easily, but I suspect that might be a bit of a safety feature so that it's not accidentally engaged. The bike also offers 4 levels of power assistance, which essentially just makes the pedaling part easier. Now, you can shut this off and just pedal the bike all on your own, but if you do want a little bit of help, those 4 modes are Eco, Touring, Boost, and Turbo. Your power assistance is adjusted on a toggle switch on the left-hand side of the handlebars. You can view your current mode on the small digital screen in the center. The screen is a bit on the small side, but it's easy to read and it contains the basic information you need, like your speed, a clock, battery level, and how much motor power is being used, plus if you have the light turned on. Now, if you want to change gears on this bike, the Shimano shifter is easy to get at on the right handlebar. Since I'm on the topic of the handlebar, you might be admiring the chestnut faux leather grips. I really love how this looks with the powder blue of my bike. That same chestnut covering is also found on the seat. And speaking of the seat, I found it to be really comfortable, particularly on long rides. It has just enough give to add comfort while still providing support. And if you did need to ride the bike with an empty battery, the light weight of the frame actually makes this highly doable. The Urtopia Joy Carbon's motor has a top speed of 25 miles per hour. Top speed being the key phrase here though, and for everyday average usage, you can probably expect closer to 20 miles per hour, which you may feel falls a little short compared to some of the more speed-focused e-bikes.
I will also say if you're going to use this bike as intended and load it, that's going to impact your speed too. But fortunately, the lighter weight of the Joy and those fat tires really helps to bump up the ride comfort, and it lets you accelerate faster, turn smoother, and more easily ride uphill, particularly if you're using that power assistance to help.
The power assist is actually quite strong. Even on the lowest level, eco mode, it gives you a pretty good boost, and the responsiveness is fast. Dial that up to touring or turbo mode, and you barely have to move the pedals to get a lot of help. The ride is smooth, and using the power assistance doesn't feel choppy in any way. The Urtopia Joy e-bike relies on a Samsung battery that when fully charged should give it a maximum range of about 70 miles or 113 kilometers, which is a long distance. When empty, you can charge the battery to full capacity in just 2.5 hours, which is actually much faster than a lot of other e-bikes. The battery is, of course, waterproof, and it can be removed from the bike for recharging or charge it while it's still in place.
One thing I will mention is this bike is only available in one size. Urtopia says the frame is made to fit anyone from about 4'11" to 6'3". I'm about 5'8", and I found this bike frame to be a very comfortable size, and with the help of those adjustable handlebars, I can see this bike being able to dial in the comfort and the sizing a little bit more so than the Carbon One step-through I tried.
I do want to touch briefly on the design of this bike. Cargo bikes can look quite utilitarian, but this one is really pretty. It's elegant, and the brushed matte finish and the ultralight carbon fiber frame gives it a really elegant look. There's just not a lot of visible seams, and it almost seems like one beautiful piece of machinery. Plus, with a few low-key color options and the chestnut accents on the handlebars and seat, it's a bike you won't mind riding anywhere.
Overall, I have to say, I have really been loving this bike. I'm impressed and surprised at how much I've enjoyed the cargo format and the fat tires. Usually I'm more traditional when it comes to bikes, but with the Joy here, I found the light weight of the bike really made the whole experience a lot more enjoyable. Let's tally up both the pros and the cons so you can see what this e-bike might look like for you.
On the pro side, this bike is super light for a cargo bike. That makes it both easier to ride and far easier to load in your vehicle. It was easy to assemble, and it feels incredibly well made and durable, and I really enjoy the step-through design. Plus, the seat is ultra comfortable. I really appreciate having the 4 levels of power assistance and love the convenience of operating it with a throttle too, and it has an easy-to-read digital display. Plus, with the fat tires, it gives you a really stable ride that can take you from almost any terrain like sand, gravel, or the street. It's even got adjustable shocks. Carrying cargo is easy on the back rack, and if you opt for the additional rear basket or front cargo tray, both of these attach easily and hold up to 60 pounds, making your bike even more versatile.
So what are the potential downsides of this bike? After spending a couple of weeks with it, I haven't actually found any red flags. I think the chief complaints people might have would simply revolve around the style of the bike. Now, that's not a con, but if you're not a fan of fat tires or the lower center of gravity of a small cargo bike like this, you're probably not going to enjoy the Joy. So in that case, I direct you more towards something like the Urtopia Carbon One step-through. The other holdback for some folks may be the price.
This bike is at the higher end of the price spectrum, selling around $19.99 US, and I have seen the company advertising sale prices and special offers, so you'll want to check the description box for this video to see what discounts might be available. The only other minor details for me are that the throttle lever is a bit boxy and can be awkward to maneuver. It might also be nice to have a slightly larger digital screen, but now I think I'm just being picky.
In short, I've really been enjoying the Yurtopia Joy Fat Tire Cargo e-bike experience because I get comfort, speed, long battery life, and plenty of room to carry what I need. I can definitely recommend it for you. This isn't the first e-bike I've reviewed, and if you want to see what else is out there from Yurtopia, watch my full review of the Carbon One. You can also check out my other reviews right now.